Wowsoloist here, and this is Beast Mastery Hunter 445 doing my first runs through the both corrupted zones of Stormwind, but not both at the same time. So this is two half runs. I take out Alleria both times just because I really like taking out that creature. Anyway, so we're doing the standard. We're stealthing. We are approaching the back corner here to determine what the bad potion is. This is the guy who drank the wrong potion, so it's purple, so that probably means it's black or green or something we want. We're probably not going to see one, and we actually didn't, but it's good to know in case you find one. So again, we're going to make life easy for ourselves. I apologize, this was a rather grainy video. It was recorded at my reduced vertical resolution for my stream. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do the standard. This version, there's actually two Alleria fights in here, and the first one, I do my standard, I just take out one guy at a time. This is painless and doesn't tend to get you stunned. The second time you'll see I missed my aggro distance, and these guys both see stealth. I didn't know that. And so I wound up fighting them both at once, but it wasn't a big deal. You just get possibly stunned a little more often, but I think it was actually faster to fight both of them at once. So she's getting better at not being stunned. She's not getting better at not pulling too much. So now a moment of decision, and we're going to go for Trade District first. And so here's do as I say, don't do as I do. She tries to stealth through these guys, which is a dumb move because you want to come back through here. You're going to land here if you take the portal or run through here, and you're probably going to be low on sanity. You want to run straight to Alleria, so you don't want to put up on these guys. You notice that she has, I think it's a 25 only, rank 1 Echoing Void, which is still, even as a distanced, not melee character, it still takes chunks, even though she's standing at range. The Echoing Void seems to really do damage to her target, so that's handy. These corpuscles you can ignore because you're about to change zones, so I don't know if this is a bug or whatever, but corpuscles do not aggro past a zone boundary. Good to know if you need to avoid them. So you can ignore any corpuscle if you are running right through a zone boundary. The problem is Dwarfen District, we'll see later, when you're trying to fight the dwarves and your pets are out fighting the corpuscles on the bridge, that's just annoying. So I'm just trying to make a quick decision here as to where to go first, but surprise, surprise, there's a tentacle, and so that overrules everything in my opinion. Just get rid of the tentacle because it just keeps doing this to you, and it's truly annoying. Not to mention it pulls you into combat at times when you don't want it. Okay, so the madness for the corrupted zones this particular day was Dark Delusions, so you wind up getting your own personal, that's Echoing Void going again here, your own personal Dark Delusion or Grand Delusion character coming at you, which is a little bit more challenging in the Trade District final boss, as we'll see in a minute. Trade District is a little bit of a hassle because of the way the bosses and the creatures, the people you have to save are oriented. Now here I take out the Kathir first, the faceless one. Why I didn't also engage the tentacle, I'm not really 100% sure, because it seems to engage you no matter what. So I probably should have barraged or multi-shotted it to bring it down a little quicker, because now we still have to take it on. I think the Echoing Void is helping a bit here, but not a great deal, because it's not a 75 or 90 level one. But it's definitely helpful. since I can use my orbs as well much as I want, because I've already planned that, having not run these districts before at all, I was going, well, once before with this character actually, frankly, but and that was a good blooper reel one. I did win, but she had to use her extra life, the what do they call it, it's the row 2 thing on the left of the tech tree. That she had to use that because she took on too many mobs again and wound up dying. The thing with Stormwind is twofold. One is the number of ads is crazy, and they're obviously spawned by the boss because they just seem to be coming out of nowhere. All these corrupted civilians. And it means that you have to spend time. This one was actually chewing away at her health, so she had to spend time actually getting rid of these ads. You'll notice the boss is really no problem. The pets are taking care of it, and he's far away. So she's mainly dealing with the ads, sanity issues, of course. And at this point, her health was getting a little bit damaged, as was her sanity, and she had this creature pop up. So she line of sighted the boss for a minute or second, and just let the pets do their job. So that's that mini boss. Throw another orb because we can. She does not have. I'll show you her tech tree after this run, before the next run, about mid of the video. But she does not have Elite Extermination, so she's not getting any benefits out of taking down these mini-bosses, and so, she's winding up using Sanity and Orb at a high rate of speed. Also, she has really had poor drops. You'll see that as well at the end of this run. She's had very, very poor gear drops. And the only decent gear she's been getting has been out of world quests and emissaries. So she doesn't really have very good corruption, but she's the first one that got a decent corruption, rather than leech or haste or something like that. She actually did get this echoing void, but it's not a high level. On the other hand, I have a paladin who has a 75, I think it's Twilight Devastation, and she doesn't even have a cloak yet. So if she equips it, she gets like two of these friends on her at pretty much all times. Okay, so again, we have a tentacle that just doesn't want to go away. Okay, so now we have this boss. Now he's a little bit of a pain because of the chains of servitude and the dark devastation at the same time. Wants to pull you want to pull one way, but you want to run the other way. You'll see that in a minute when the dark devastation, there it is, pops up. And it's not bad here because you could actually run, if she had chains, she could run in both directions. This is what happens if it actually hits you. You get like a good chunk of sanity and a 3-second stun. But it doesn't matter because the pets have got this guy down. He's a pretty trivial boss anyway. And now your job is to, of course, click on all the things. Rescuing these guys is fairly easy, but unlike Orgrimmar, the objects you click and the location of the mobs are set so that you can't skip. You really are doing a full clear, and you have to keep that in your mind. In these corrupted zones, you're doing a full clear of the zone. You notice, for example, here we have a Kathir, or a faceless one, and we have another, of course, the whole population of the trade district comes on your head. So that's the ads that the micro boss here is spawning. And so that the combination of the ads and the other characters means that, and there's only 8, by the way, it's 8 of 8 prisoners freed. There are only 8 prisoners. So you have to go everywhere, and that means you can't skip any of the mobs at all. It forces every corrupted zone in Stormwind is a full clear by definition. Just missed that lady this time. So because we're getting low on sanity, before we click on the thing, we'll use up this orb, because we have nothing else now to fight except Alleria. So because we're only doing a half side. Now, why are we doing a half side? Well, because we're not familiar with running the corrupted on any character, especially the Beast Mastery Hunter, who has proven to be a little bit squishy health-wise on the bigger pull packs, and she tends to pull too much. So that, and because you can. So she's got a level 6 cloak. She's working on rank 7, and so if you're in that position and you're relatively not comfortable yet with horrific vision, then you should consider doing them one half at a time, especially now that there's no limit on coalescing visions anymore, and there's no limit on how many vessels that you can have. That was not true when this was recorded, but since there isn't any limits, you know, you can get a lot more runs in, and so why not just split it until you're comfortable with it. Just do one side per run, and that means 2 runs per cloak level. So she's used her last orb, but she's in almost 3/4 sanity, so it's time to take on this creature whom we've never trusted since we met her back in Legion, so let's take her out. And since I am, you know, a professional night elf, I have no concern about taking this one on at all. And in fact, I vastly prefer this fight to the Thrall fight. To me, the Thrall fight is murky, fuzzy. I don't know. It's not crisp. This fight is crisp, and I know a lot of people say there's a lot of work here. I don't see that there's much more running here than there is in Thrall. Now, this one is a bit more of a challenge because of Chains of Servitude. Because she inherited this from the boss in the Trade District, we have to do a lot more use of the territory. So normally we wouldn't use more than, say, 1 corner of the cathedral. Now we have to use a whole half of it, like a whole one side. Also, it means that we can't make as much use of our good blue puddle here. And the nice thing, though, with the Beast Mastery Hunter is that there's basically nothing happening with her blue puddles that she throws with Darkened Sky. Now, you'll also notice that the Echoing Void is just taking chunks out of her. Unfortunately, the Void Eruption always seems to happen, but at the wrong time, when you just about have her, but the pet took her out regardless. And so there's, you know, yet another Alleria. I much prefer this fight. Now, when you're doing, unless they fixed this bug in the last week or so, when you're doing Trade District, always wait for that chest to come up, and since that's the important chest, I click it first. Now, this is disgusting. Look at that. Why did I run Alleria? Just to get a bunch of mementos. Okay, so here's her tech tree. You'll see she does not have Elite Extermination. So what we're going to do here is go for another run, only now we're going to do Dwarfen District. So we're using 2 vessels, but we are in no hurry. We don't care if we're behind anybody because we don't do Mythic Plus yet. We don't do competition rating, and we're not doing competition Mythic Plus. So as a soloist, this is just like treating this like Mage Tower, which it is definitely not. Please bring back Mage Tower for 110 twinks. So here we are, for some reason, and I'm pretty sure I was on the same step I always step on, but for some reason this time they saw through the stealth, and unlike last run, I wound up having to take them on both at the same time. And other than getting stunned once, now I did eventually freeze the second guy, but I think this was faster to take them on at the same time rather than splitting it up. And with Dwarfen District, I have to do half clear at least of this area, this twisted zone, in order to get out of here. Now, I hadn't run I don't skip boxes, I don't care how much a hurry I'm in, and I'm not in that much a hurry because I'm only doing one side. So now I can get chests, I'll get them. Okay, so I peeked over there and realized that's not where I wanted to go. Well, that was a mistake. And then I ran too close to that blob, so that was a mistake. And so it became basically almost a full clear, 3/4 of a clear. So these corruptor, horrible purple-looking things are coming at us, and they just don't seem to be a problem at all. But what I'm doing here that isn't very great is I should be, although I'm multi-shotting them, I should really be doing what I did here, is sticking the pet on these ranged guys, the heart seekers particularly, or heart piercers, whatever they are, because they truly do a lot of damage. The rest of these melee characters, not so much. So this guy, I got fed up with enough, that this heart piercer, that I actually just ran into his face. This next pack annoys me just because one is a void caster, which casts fear on you, and the other is a heart piercer. So you have to decide what your priority is. So in this case, what I did is I froze the heart piercer, and what I should have done is sent the pets on the void caster first. For some reason, I don't know why I did that, so I wound up with a nice little fear. But the pets just eat that clothy, and so now we can take on the shooter here, as he has a lot more health and takes a lot longer to go down. But he's done. And now finally we can get out of the Cathedral District. Now again, first run, so I'm going, no, can't go that way. All right. Now, here's where I say, don't do this. So I just run through the corpuscles, but of course I can't run out of the zone because I have to first kill these 3 dwarfs. And the problem is, as you notice, my pets just went running across the bridge with one of the gnomes, by the way, and they went running over chasing corpuscles. So I'm now having to go back, and now again the dwarf is here, so I can take, or gnome, whatever he is, take him out. But now I should have taken out that other corpuscle, because guess what? I'm trying to kill these gnomes, and my pets were playing with the corpuscle. And now I've called them back here, and they go back there again. So even if there's not a tentacle on the bridge, which there is in harder modes, make sure you take out the bridge corpuscles first. These 2 corpuscles, though, because of this bug, you can ignore, because for some reason, once you change zones, corpuscles, as you see, no longer aggro the pets. So now she's really low on corruption. Back in these days, this was done multiple weeks ago. I've been had some off time because of some weird little virus, whatever it might have been, and so feeling much more energy now and getting back to this. So now I'm narrating something that was recorded some weeks ago. Basically, I'm catching up, if you wish. So at any rate, we're just going to burn through the trash here. I'm going to take out this mob here. As usual, in Stormwind, the trash seems to be worse than the mobs. And again, because of Dwarfen District, the way it's structured, you can't skip any of the trash because the bombs are placed wherever the trash is. So it's your choice as to how you take out the trash, but you're going to be doing a full clear no matter what. And there's my friend, because it's still Dark Illusion Madness, as you see at the top center of the screen. So I've taken this out because I have time, and because I hadn't run Dwarfen District before. I'm taking my time and just pulling this one guy separately. This mini-boss, I probably could have pulled him with the faceless one. These big faceless ones are not elites, and they're not really all that tough. It's usually the stuff that they come with that makes them tougher to deal with. And of course, we still have our pink friend. Okay, so again, you know, the mini boss long gone, but the trash remains. Welcome to Stormwind. And this dude will just, the pets can handle him, frankly. Why I was running away from him there, I have no idea. I think I was looking to see where the next trash pack were going to pop up, because they do just spawn right on top of you. But there we go. And Echoing Void, if I'd stayed still long enough here, does a really good job on carving down trash packs as well. But of course, you know, the one thing in Horrific Visions is you're not standing still for long, especially with that pink friend. Now here, I actually probably should have taken the black liquid. I think this was the purple liquid run, but I didn't. I did take a blue one over here, which was absolutely useless. So now you know where the vials normally spawn in this area, but you obviously have to check them out to see what they were. That one was useless. Now, I'm not sure in Dwarfen District, since both mailboxes are up, if you're looking for the mail muncher, if it spawns in Dwarven District, it's only going to spawn out of one mailbox, and you need to know which one it is. And I didn't know which one it is. I still actually don't have to look that up. So she's running low on sanity. She might as well park herself by a mailbox, and let's just see what's in it. So I picked this one, probably the wrong one, I don't know. And while we're doing our sanity thing, we're just going to open the mail, and it turns out to be a glob, so we kill the glob. Sorry, no mail muncher. I don't know if it only spawns in Trade District, and I'm not sure which of the two mailboxes it spawns in. I think it's the auction house closer one, not the one that's deeply embedded near the bank, but I might be wrong on that. I haven't chased that mount yet. Now here's a choice. Don't do what she did. I would pull those trash on the left side and pull them back here and just burn them all together, because you're going to have to clear them anyway. There's a bomb over there, and I find it's faster if I go down and get them from this side, and I can pick up the bomb later if I want, or I can pick it up now. So I would have gone there. You know, I'm thinking about it, but I changed my mind. Okay, so we're going to go do this bomb. When you haven't done the thing before and you've got your pink friend hanging on to you, you sort of make whatever decisions make sense at the time. You've got this little trash pack here. If you pull it well enough with barrage, you can usually pull our lumbering, bouncing, faceless friend here, and get the whole bunch, which is good. You still have a heart seeker, piercer, whatever he is over there, that you still have to deal with. And again, you know, do as I say, not do. I would take him out first, both of them. Now, this is the thing with Dwarfen District, right? Good luck on placing AoEs that have to be placed on the ground, because there's so much crud hanging in the sky. It really defeats that. She just missed that pink thing because it just expired before it hit her. I've done a whole pile of those lately, just in time, pink avoidance. Alright, so there's this one guy here. This is why I say I think it's better to pull this pack from before, because this particular bomb is on the before side, so why wait till later? So you've basically done a full clear of the Dwarfen District, and then you detonate the bombs, which is a nothing, and you go after your friend. Now, this guy is one of the most trivial mini-bosses in the whole thing. He just throws bombs. Now, I could have used my orb there. I didn't, because I really have so little respect for this boss that I'm not even caring about my sanity disappearing. While I look how fast he burns down, and Echoing Void doesn't hurt. He does throw a little red that you have to avoid, but he just is absolutely very easy. So I'm going, how am I getting out of here? And I'm with my pink friend chasing me, and I've got enough distance on her. I'm just going to zap, and here we are, right back in front of Turalian. Can't get better than that. Might as well I think I had enough sanity to take out Alleria there quite easily, which is, a good note for next run. But this character, I'm still not happy enough that I would do rank 8 cloak in 2 sides at once, at least not without Elite Extermination. That's very critical. And the RP on this is just annoyingly slow. So we'll take our blue puddle, which is our heroism, bloodlust, whatever you kind of call it, sort of equivalent. And she gets the bombs from the bomb boss, which are very easily ignorable. The only problem with this one is that the crud that remains on the ground does reduce the amount of the cathedral that you have to maneuver in. And also, of course, it pushes you out of your good purple circles. And actually there you notice she definitely stayed too close. She wasn't ranged enough, and she did get hit with the minus 24 sanity by the darkened sky. Normally, as a range, you do not get hit by that, especially if you have a pet class like this. The bombs just seem to be targeting that purple circle, and again, she's standing in the darkened sky. It didn't seem like she got damage from that this time. She should have, but it doesn't matter because she's got almost 3/4 sanity, and this gal ain't lasting long. Just don't get hit by the last eruption and you're done. Okay, so that's it for 2 sides in 2 runs on the Corrupted of Stormwind. Now you notice this one, the Dwarfen District, its chest spawns immediately with the other chest. There's no delay, but I've noticed the delay on the Trade District is consistent, at least back at the time when these runs were done. And again, she got absolutely nothing. Why run Alleria if you're only getting some corrupted mementos? So that was 2 disappointing runs in a row. As I say, she's not getting any gear out of the horrific visions. All the corrupted gear that my characters are getting is out of world quests and emissary boxes at this point, which is, I find, quite disappointing. Okay, so now she gets to turn it in because she has both of her torn pages, one from each of the runs. And always make sure you get the next quest when you do it, so that you don't wind up in using a vessel and being in the vision and realizing you don't have a quest. So it's a useless run other than practice. So here we are at rank 6, and we click it and we have rank 7, which is basically no different than rank 6. You get another, 7% corruption resistance. And in terms of the tech tree, she has still not quite enough, 100 short. So anyway, that's it for these 2 runs, and we'll see you with the next. And she also, this allowed her to click a chest from one of the assaults, and guess what? No gold. So she was having a great day on chests. Anyway, wowsoloist out for now.